Home for the hits in New York City. WNYX, all country, all western, all the
all the
time.
time. WX, esa la
Mumbai,
bude.
India. Bollywood entertainment.
Can't do the accents. Such a good show. Hang on, I just realized. I
Melissa
forgot to do
refuses to
something here.
watch. She can't stand Phil Hartman
Huh?
or Andy Dick. She just finds them so obnoxious. We're live. We're live, sweetie. Sorry. You can send a chat if you want. Just make sure you have enough rally tokens in order to make it through.
What are rally tokens, Tom?
It's funny that you ask.
It's funny that you should ask. All right, hang on. I just forgot to set up something there. All right. We're good. We're good to go. Change it back. Hello there, folks. Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Uh, can't complain. It's a beautiful winter day in this summer in Montreal. It's
Is
great.
it cold outside? I don't think it's that cold. It looks nice and
Well,
sunny.
it doesn't tickle. Tell you that.
It does tickle.
The
All
only
right,
reason,
all
Peter,
right.
the only reason people live in Montreal is that 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months out of the year, it's beautiful, and you can go out and do all these festivals and have a great time. Without that, why are we here, stuck in this island in the middle of the north? Ugh.
Most people don't know that. Most people probably don't know that we have curfew here in Montreal, 8 p.m.
Uh huh.
Sun goes down at 7:45.
That's right.
8 p.m.
We
is
we
a
got
curfew.
vampire hours right now. That's what we got.
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty
Yeah.
nuts. I was outside. I was outside yesterday. Um, Parking the car downtown is really difficult because half the spots that I would park in are um, taken up by no parking signs because of construction, and then everything else is like reserved parking. And so 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm outside trying to find a parking spot. I couldn't find one, so I just picked one that I wasn't supposed to park in, and I was just going to go back outside at 7:20, you
Right.
know, 7:30. So I go back inside at 7:30, and I'm looking for parking. I'm looking for parking. I'm walking around, driving around for parking. I'm walking because I don't want to move the car from its crappy spot to have no spot, because at this
Right.
point at 7:30 p.m. people are rushing to get back before curfew. They're taking any spot, like they don't care. I'm in a spot where I got to wake up at 7. I got to wake up at 7 a.m. in order to go and move this car. Well, 6:45 in order to go move this car. So I'm walking outside, and as the minutes tick away and the sun is setting and then has set, I'm feeling more and more like a rebel. I'm feeling more like I'm outside with a black hoodie on. It's covered over my head. It's
You're Will
slightly
Smith and
raining.
I Am Legend.
It felt totally surreal to be in a metropolis, 7:45 p.m. on a Sunday evening, and the place is desert. It's empty.
Downtown, no less.
Downtown, right
Yeah.
smack downtown. It was so creepy. Anyway, I parked the car. Actually, I couldn't find a place to park the car. I had to wake up today 6:30 in order to go move the car. 6:45. But it felt like I felt like staying out until 8:01. You know what I mean? Like something in me was like, just stay out till 8:01.
No, but that's when
No,
you
I
hear the wolf in the distance. "Ow!" And then as feet come running towards you. Well, that's where you
but
get
anyway,
the person who opens up the side door and says, come in," and they're hooded and masked, and then you spend the next 28 days with them. And then 28 days later, it's a problem.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You just see some light at a high rise, and then they lower down a cord from you, and you've got to find a way to make it up that building. And the little girl saves you. I love that movie. All right, that's on my to watch it list. My watch list coming up. I got to work myself up to watch 28 Days Later. It's one of the only movies that has ever kind of scared me.
Yeah.
That and it, but that had a lot more to do with me being a child and being around older people who didn't care about traumatizing children. They just didn't
Right.
care about it. You know.
Right. 28 days later is scary because of Killian Murphy. He's just a scary person. Just looking at him, I get scared.
All right, I don't even know who that is. Anyway, um, Jumpstart. Hey, how you doing, Tom? Happy to talk about Jumpstart once again.
Mhm.
If you're watching this for the first time, just letting you know, Jumpstart is our sort of series providing you a type of education to jumpstart your life, whether it's for business, marketing, finance, understanding money, your own personal life, understanding your mind, understanding your heart. That's what we're talking about here. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go over to youtube.com/happy for a change and hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so that you know when we go live, because we go live all the time. We go live often. And right now we're broadcasting to Facebook and to YouTube, but soon it won't be on Facebook anymore. So if you care about that, go over to youtube.com/happy for change.
It's funny because now regularly we're having a conversation and we get 2 minutes in, we go, okay, save it for the air. I got to talk to you 3 other times this week. Can't be wasting gold conversation on idle chit chat. Put the camera on.
That's right. Put a camera on. Well, that
Right
was
before
actually
we started filming today, you're like, enough, stop talk about this.
well, I'm hearing you talking, and I go, wait, that has to do with our topic today.
Right.
Is this private? Can you share this online? Yeah, well, then shut up. I don't want to hear about it. You were actually telling me about a scam that you almost got scammed. You did get scammed.
Well, it's not a scam so much as I see it more as fraud or false advertising. So I use Fiverr a lot. I love these freelancer networks because I used to use them a lot to get jobs for myself, and it's great to build experience. You want to build up a portfolio. You don't have a lot of experience, and you put a small service up there, and then all of a sudden you can make some logos, make some website, fix some problems, and you can get some visibility. But
Mhm.
because they're so good for like the North American or the Western world market, what happens is that you get a lot of foreigners. You get the Russians and Indians and people, Asians who put up accounts there, pretend to be white people from Nebraska, who was just they have 4 to 5 years experience in logo design, and they just want to be able to help you out. And I mean, the red flag should really start at the beginning because I don't know why these people don't use spell check. They use Google Translate. So I make you a logo right now, real good, and you're like, okay. But sometimes you don't see that red flag at the beginning. It's just enough misspelling in what they're saying that they sound like a millennial. So you're like,
Yeah, that's right. That's
okay,
what to say. Like the amount of
yeah,
times, like I had a guy on Fiverr, and he had spelling mistakes and weird structures to him. He was a foreigner, but still. And I was like, but hang on a second. It used to be that proper English was a good tell whether or not you're dealing with someone legitimate or not. Now it's like you don't know. Is this my auntie? Is this my cousin? Like
yeah.
it's just a regular
And
regular
then what
person.
happens is that the samples you get back don't really take into consideration like the information you put in your requests. Like, oh, this is sort of color schemes I'm looking for. This kind of the theme. I want something to merge this with that idea. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, I understand. And you get back something that's just like, this is nothing like what I asked for. The thing is, sometimes it's good, not good for you, but it's just like, oh, this is good. And then you
Mhm.
realize, as I realized today, they're just going on like 99 designs or whatever. They're going on some other freelancer website and we're taking your request, giving it to those people, and they're giving you some generic thing, or they downloaded some generic thing. They modify a few things and give you this
Wow,
logo. And
wow.
so once it looked too nice and too quick, and it didn't have any of my things, I'm like, who is simultaneously creative in doing the actual work, but takes none of my input into the design? So then I started looking up, doing reverse image searches on the of the logos on Google Images, and then I
Mhm.
found all their logos on there. I was like, so I started messaging them. I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend the next 15 minutes berating this person. And I was like, hey, can you give me proof about this? And why is your English so bad? And what's going on here? What's going on there? And then slowly I'm like, you're a liar, you're a scammer. This is totally fake. These are not yours. You didn't create them. You got them on another site. And the person's like, no, it's totally fine. I'm reporting you right now. And I'm sending emails to Fiverr. Here's the links to all the fraud stuff. And here's the whole text. I'm going to keep reporting you until I see your name gone. But it makes no difference because it's just going to create a new account.
That's right.
There'll be Sally Jussie Raphael now from North Carolina. What can you
Sally
do?
Jesse Raphael. What is that from?
It's the Ninja Turtles, the three Ninja Turtles.
But Sally?
Yeah, Sally's the. This is the remake when they were trying to be more woke, so they had the female Ninja Turtle there.
Oh, I didn't
You
know. I
know,
didn't even know. I didn't even know there was a remake. I had no clue.
yeah, this is a remake. Yeah, Sally Jesse Raphael. Hmm.
You know what? I'm being
Melissa's
scammed right
laughing.
now.
Melissa's
I'm being
laughing in the
scammed.
background.
Spillis is not the only one. There's
Yeah,
Sam here
but
who's
you
laughing as
you
well.
love them scams. You got me onto the
Ah,
onto
I
the scam hunters.
absolutely love scams. I like
Yeah.
finding them. I don't want to be fooled by them. You know, I grew up as a religious guy in church, so experience with scams right from the get go. So I'm always very interested in how people tell. I'm very interested in the truth, but I'm also very interested in how people lie. I got scammed when I was 16 years old. A guy came up to me on the street. He had a briefcase and a tie, and he's like, "Oh, I need $60 just to get back to Toronto." Did it strike me as a little weird that this guy just walking around in my neighborhood needing a bus ticket to wherever he was going? A little bit, but
But he
I'm a
needed
good
help.
Christian.
He needed
Yeah,
help.
I'm a good Christian. And what would Jesus do? Okay, what would Jesus do? Ask questions? Doubt? No, of course not. Of course not. So I gave that guy $60. I got my Western Union slip. He's like, "I'll send it back when I get back." And I waited for days and days and days and days. A week goes by, 2 weeks. And I was like, I think I got scammed. I think I got scammed. I stumbled upon this YouTube channel, Tom.
Wait, let me just tell you a little story there before you do the YouTube story.
Yeah.
Uh, I was in this situation where so now giving money to homeless people, I find it very, very difficult. Before I would have just, my heart bleeds for them. But as you get older and older, and you realize there are just the same number or more homeless people, your contribution does nothing at all. You sort of get cynical. So I'm in the car the other day. I'm driving and I'm listening to some stand-up comedy, and I'm looking out, and I get to this intersection that's a long light, and there's a homeless person there who there's usually a homeless person there with a sign or cup, just going to the parked cars trying to get some cash. And this guy has a sign, and it says "Smile if you want to help the hopeless." And just as I see that sign, I'm listening to the stand-up comedy in the car, and I start laughing over a joke that's there. And in that moment, I make eye contact with the homeless person, who then smiles at me, and then starts to make their way quickly over to the car. And now, as they look in, normally I would just be like, "Okay, no," but clearly, like right next to me is change, $5, $10, $50, just money out. It's not even in a thing, it's just out there. And I'm like, Peter, I didn't even know I had this money here. That's how much I don't need this $50 next to me. I don't want to look. I'm looking out, and the guy's like there, and I just didn't want to give it. I didn't want to open up the window because I know I can't. I couldn't pull out $10 and give it to him, because he'd be like, "But dude, you got the $50 right there," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I know. I'm an ass," and I didn't want to be there, sort of having this weird, quick, awkward interaction while the light changes and the guy behind me starts honking, and then me out of nervousness, I just hand him all the money in the car. So I just stalled a bit, maybe a long time. I just didn't roll down the window. The person's there, like, what's going on? And I just drove away. I just drove away without giving any money. So I don't
And
know.
you tell the story because
It reminded me when you were saying you talked about the homeless person, and I've been thinking about this for a while, and I wanted you to
it's
tell me that I'm a good person and that you would
I
do
could
the same thing.
tell. I could tell it was on your heart. No, you're better than me. I don't even feel any guilt about it at all.
Oh, really?
I just looked them in the eye. I've been cussed out by so many homeless people in my area
Sure.
that I've given money to.
Oh yeah, you are surrounded by it.
Oh my god! I give
Yeah,
money. I give like $2 and like, "Hey, dude, man, give me a 20. Give me a 20." And it's like, cussing at me, spitting at me. And of course, not all of them do it, but it's happened so many times that I go, I'm not. There are homeless people and there's food shelters and all that stuff. I'm not 100% convinced that the homeless people who are here are going to be using this money to better their lives in any type of way. Like, I'm fine giving you a meal. Maybe that's what they're doing. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about homeless people and the etiquette with that. I actually want to solve the problem at its source. And when it comes down to the people, we won't say the name of who, but we know somebody who took in a homeless person off the street who then robbed them.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I know the consequences. I've experienced enough consequences in my life knowing, like, sometimes you're trying to do the right thing, you try to do right by people, and then it really turns out bad for you. So I'm more about solving the problem upstream solution.
Upstream.
Upstream solution
Never
just
miss
means
a
I can
moment.
just
Never miss a plug.
that's why I just drive away from homeless people. I just look at them in their eyes. I wave to them. I drive by. Excuse me. It's tough. It's tough. Anyway, scams, Tom.
Mhm.
I came across this YouTuber. I told you about him. I was talking to him with Alex. People must know about this guy. His name is Kit Boga. Kit Boga does these hilarious videos where he does something called scam baiting. Okay, scam baiting. So there's people who are scammers out there, and there are people who bait scammers,
Well,
and
just give
their whole
a little rundown of the scams, because I didn't even know these scams existed like in this industrial way. I didn't realize. I thought it was just a few people doing it. I didn't know it was an industry.
so in places around the world, I'll take India as an example, but it happens in Africa, it happens in other places. I'll give you an example of a scam. This is a very popular scam. It's called a refund scam. And this is where a scammer will call from a call center and will claim that you're owed money from Amazon or something like that, from Amazon, from Microsoft, some computer software that you allegedly purchased. And they have to give you this refund. They have to give you a refund of $500. So then they access your computer with your permission. You download this a program to give them access to your computer, and then they proceed to instruct you about this refund. And then you have to like enter information, blah blah blah, and then a mistake occurs, and then they accidentally give you $5,000 instead of 500. Except they don't actually give you $5,000. They just, because they have access to the computer, they change the code on the webpage to make it look like your bank received 5,000 instead of
No, first
nothing.
they transfer the money from one of your accounts
That's
to your
one way they
checking
do it.
account.
That's
Yeah.
one way they do it.
No,
One way
but
they do it.
then they change the code to make it
No,
look like
not
this
all the time.
transfer. Oh, I see.
Not all the time. It's
I
different
see.
depending on their skill, depending on
Right.
what they want to do. They can go into your when they access your computer. They can if they see you have savings account and a checking account. Then what they might do is, without you realizing it, they'll transfer money from your savings account to your checking account, and then you'll look at your checking account and go, "Oh, the balance has increased. They must have given me too much money," not realizing that it came from your savings account. But
Right.
whether maybe you don't have a savings account, maybe you don't have enough money in there, or maybe the person doesn't want to actually go through the effort of getting your password, like observing your
Right.
password and logging
Right.
into your account, they can just change the HTML, the code on the page, to visually make it look like the thing is different, but nothing has ever happened. And if you don't refresh the page, then you don't know. So it depends on what they want to do. Like what they want you to do is to go to the store to get gift cards, and then to give them the gift card numbers as a to repay this,
Yeah, they're
$5,000
saying this
extra.
money was transferred to you by accident, but they can't just take it out. They can't just take it back. So you, being a good Samaritan, you got to go to a Target, a Best Buy, or something, get a gift card for 500 to a couple of $1,000s, and read to them, give them the number for the gift card, which they then deposit into their own account.
That's right, and this is usually targeted to elderly people, which I'll get to that in a second.
And the
But
good-hearted.
the good-hearted.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a numbers game, but that's one of the reasons they might not send money from your savings account to your checking, is because, like, they need you to have money in your account to go and buy these gift cards. So
Mhm.
they can't. You might be thinking I have $6,000 in my account, but you might only have $2,000 in the account. So they have to. There's different ways for
Right.
them to do it. But the whole scam is that they pretend that you're owed money. They make it look like you've received this too much money, and then they ask you for that money back. Some people take that cash, they put it in a box and mail it to them. Some people get
Yeah.
gift cards. There's different ways for them to do it. So there are people out there. So there are elderly people out there, and everybody. But you probably get these calls, whether it's a voicemail on your phone, somebody calling you, cold calling, or you call a number that you think is legit, and
Or
then
an
they scam.
email. Yeah.
That's right, and so they're scamming people. Hundreds of centers are doing this in India alone. So
It's a
this is not a
multi-billion-dollar industry.
it's not a small operation. The police are often in on it in the areas that they're in. They go into a call center. So often, sometimes the call center is legitimate. There are other businesses doing call center work there, and then they're also operating their LLC and scamming people out of their money. It's absolutely insane. But what's
Mhm.
even more insane is that there's people who make it their job to waste these guys' time. That's what scam baiting is, okay? Scam baiting, for the most part, is wasting the scammer's time, because every hour they're on the phone with you, they're not on the phone with someone else. So Kid Boga, look. I'll just show you a little bit of it, and
Yeah.
instead of describing it, and it might be a little better. So let's see if I can do this here. All right, there we go. So let's listen to a little bit of Kid Boga.
All right. So you want that money to be transferred on your personal checking account 1337, right?
That's right. That's right.
Now, madam, do you have a pen and paper with you?
No, I don't believe in paper products. They're ruining our environment.
So wait, so what's happening right now? What's happening right now is that Kit Boga, he's like he does voices and puts on skits. Like he's trying to waste their time, but he's trying to make it entertaining for us to watch. So in this clip, he's pretending to be Edna, which is this elderly woman, and you're gonna see he's just dragging on, wasting their time. And I'll tell you the punchline when we get to the end of this.
I want
Okay,
my
so be handy
grandchildren
with the,
to be able to live on God's green flat earth. And if we murder all our trees like savages, they're not going to have any air to breathe. And that's the
yeah,
truth.
be handy with a pen and paper.
What?
Okay, and what is your refund amount? Do you remember what?
Okay, so what he's doing right now is so the scammer has the person access their bank account, right? And then he's going to ask them to take down a piece of paper to note the balance of their account before he does his mistake, because the scam really hinges on you believing that you got more money than you thought. So he wants to draw your attention to the number that you're seeing, so that when that number changes, it's immediately obvious to you. Look, I had $600
and you have to
before,
realize
now I
it,
have
because you can't be like, oh, well, let me go check to see my transactions to see what happened here. It has to be that to you it's obvious. Oh my god, a mistake just immediately happened.
Exactly right. So let's take a look.
What is your refund amount?
It's $100, I think.
$100?
I think so. I don't. Maybe it was 200.
Yeah, it's $199.99.
I think it's
okay.
200. It's $299. That's what it was.
No, it's $199.
Did you catch what he did? He transferred money in between my accounts. He transferred the $4,199 from my savings account to my checking account.
Write down your refund ID. I'm giving you your refund ID. Have a note of it.
Okay, so he's giving her
A as an apple.
He's giving her this refund ID in order to waste her time, distracted, not looking at the screen. He's going to give her this long number that means absolutely nothing. And right now you can see he's changing the code on the screen. All right. I know I see this hand here that says drag to move. I don't know why it's there. My mouse is not there, but anywho, that's what's happening right now. I just want to make sure that that's clear. Okay, I couldn't get rid of the hand.
Okay, K is in Kale.
P as in Peter.
B is in basketball.
M as in Mary.
I just imagine people going through this. Oh my god.
This happens to real people.
And P as in Peter.
G is in golf.
He's not even paying attention. The whole point is to have you be distracted, so you're not.
If you don't mind me
looking at the
asking
screen.
you, are you joking with me?
Oh, he caught it that time.
Was it G?
Are you Peter?
All right, so I just fast forward a little bit. Your money has got transferred to the bank, but by mistake we transferred you $4,199.
Yes.
So Enda was giving him such a hard time that he decides he's just going to type it on a notepad.
Can you please? Doesn't work as well. Yes, darling. There you are. I don't know where you had gone.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I can't show you this whole thing. I can literally watch this stuff all day. It's really, really funny.
There was a for hours. He'll do it for 5-6 hours straight.
Yeah, usually it goes for about 2 hours or so, but he can really, he does the whole thing. He'll pretend to drive to Target. He'll pretend to buy the gift cards. There's like all kinds of things in
He'll
the
be the
middle of it.
manager. He'll be his own niece. He'll be a neighbor, and he'll just create these whole scenarios. He has this whole setup that allows him. He'll invite new people. Felicia Day was on his show at one point, pretending to be an old lady, and they'll just do whatever they can to drag out this experience and to really cause the scammer to be incensed. Sometimes they lose their mind. They're so upset. They think of this as their money, and how dare you stop them from getting their money.
That's right.
It's quite incredible. Peter, thank you
It's
so
pretty
much
cool.
for introducing me to it. It's been a trip. Now I can't even watch the edited YouTube videos. I got to watch the Twitch
The
ones because
4-hour one.
it's great
Well,
background
he has
sound.
another channel. He has another channel called More Kit Boga, where he releases the full calls. So it's still
But
new.
literally every broadcast, I'll watch the whole broadcast that he does. Because you really
Pretty
get
cool.
the sense of community that's there. Like the people who are in the Twitch chat with him, the people who are watching, can actually help him. He'll be like, "Okay, guys, I need a Bank of America address that's 30 minutes away from this zip code." Or, "Oh, guys, what did I say in this past one? Can you remember the voice I used for this?" And it's this whole. Or he'll ask for, "Okay, what scenario should I do right now, or what kind of lie?" And it's amazing the collaborative work that's happening here. I mean, it's tied with him, right? He's really good at this. There's other types of scam baiters who have different skill sets. He is a fantastic improver, and wow, if it's not entertaining.
He's super, super funny. Honestly, I'm in my car in traffic now, and I will listen to this guy. It does not bother me. I get to just have fun listening to him. I gotta show the one of the
Sure.
funniest parts in the video. I mean, I know
Yeah.
I'm taking time to do this, but you folks got to know about this. All right, let's see what he says here.
I thought you ran off.
Do you see?
Before you were able to send the money to my account.
Do you see how much money I have transferred to your account?
What?
Do you see the balance transfer on your account by today's date? How much money you got?
How much? Okay, you're asking how much money
So
you're
this is the
supposed to
scam.
give me. Okay, you're supposed to give me $199, I believe. And then right?
All right, so let me just move forward here.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the funniest things that this guy does is that okay, do I have to go back and forth? One of the funniest things that this guy does is that he likes to draw them in, making them believe they're going to get this $2,000, they're going to get this $4,000, they're going to get these gift cards. So the moment he has them on the hook, the moment they believe that they're dealing with somebody who's really being fooled, they're not going to let it go. They're no matter kind of how hard he makes it, they're going to try to stay there because that's money for them. Then he gets the gift cards. He does different things, but one of the things he does is that instead of giving them the code for them to be able to redeem the card, he redeems the card accidentally himself, and he pretends that he believes that they're getting the money. So he's like, "I'll do this for you. I'll redeem the cards." And they're like, "No, don't redeem the cards."
Yeah,
He's
he's
like,
pretending
"No,
he's
no,
being
no."
a clueless old person who doesn't know what they're doing, redeeming the card in their own account. And what's brilliant about this is that he's made up the cards, he's made up the numbers, and he's made up the Google Play website or the Apple website or whatever, because he knows enough programming to pretend like all this happened on a fake computer, on fake websites that these hackers don't know is fake. So as he's typing in the numbers to redeem the cards, which he might have like 6 of these cards, he says, they're losing their mind thinking every single time this old lady is clicking redeem that they're losing out on this money, that they'll never be able to get that money back, and they get they get really upset.
Yeah, okay, let's take a look.
Very satisfying.
Let's take a look real quick.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Just trying to make sure I get all these things straightened out here. So I see I got all the Google cards and everything now. Yeah. And I see you got all the Google cards. Them off, right? Hold on.
yeah, scratch the card
Okay.
very carefully.
No, I can't see. That's why Team Viewer on it. Team, you give a look You give a look on your computer home screen. Do you see a blue color logo with a white circle on it? Team
Okay,
viewer
it says $500 has been added to it. Whatever. Okay, so
Okay, so the scammer is seeing his computer right now.
team viewer then, huh?
They're seeing his screen.
And they're trying to
This
stop
is
him from redeeming the card.
So I got the one done. I'm just trying to get the others fine. That way I can get the money over to you.
Okay, hang on. Let me just fast forward.
Hello?
I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yes,
Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah. Stop.
Honey.
Stop.
It's fine. I'm giving it to you for your wedding. I get it.
No. Go stop. You stop. You come down.
$500 has been added to your balance. That's what you need.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm helping you. There's only 2 more left.
No. You come down.
What? No, it says on.
So he's losing money. Like every time Kid Voga enters the code, the scammer believes he's losing $500.
Yeah, that card is no longer. He can no longer redeem the card.
To go to
I think
Google store and you go to the redeem right here.
Don't do it.
And you paste
Don't do it. Don't do it.
If you click redeem.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Watch.
Don't do it.
When you confirm it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
$500 has been added to your balance. No.
Anyway, I don't want to show everything. You gotta go over and check this out. It's super funny. I mean, I didn't pick the best one like on purpose. I want you to go and check out Kid Boga. There's some where people are losing their minds. There's all kinds of scams. People pretend to be the FBI, the FTC. They try to get your Bitcoin. Like
some he drags out for days, just days and days. Others he becomes he makes them regret what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Like some people come like, I mean, anyway, we can talk all day about Kid Boga. But the reason I bring it up is that there are people out there who are trying in whatever way that suits them to make the world a better place and to help you. Right? They're champions out there for you. Kid Boga is a very interesting champion, but he's out there wasting time. He'll get bank accounts from, sometimes they will give him bank accounts. He'll contact the banks and the banks will shut them down. He's been involved with shutting down call centers. Like the whole call center gets shut down because of some of the things he does. Like I'm just skimming the surface of what the Scambating does. There are whole communities out there, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who waste the times of these scammers, who work to stop them, who delete their files, who do all kinds of things.
Who help people recover their money or prevent them from losing their money as they're in the middle of being scanned, because they could be monitored so they can see this person's about to give their money and someone will call them in order to prevent that from happening. It's really quite incredible.
And you might not, the reason I bring this up is that you might not know that these types of people are out there, that something like this is out there. I didn't know until, a few weeks ago. I didn't know that there was Scambating, that this even existed. And there are a lot of people out there working hard in order to make your life better, to make the world a better place. And I believe that part of the mission we have with Happy for a Change, but also what would be good for Jumpstart, to jumpstart your life, to get you, to empower you, is to seek out things that are outside of your sphere of awareness, to expand your awareness, to include things like this in order to understand just how complex the world is, just things that you could do. Like I didn't know there was a whole industry out there that was entertaining people while stopping scams.
That's right.
Like there are some of these channels, Jim Browning is one of these guys. He actually connects to the person's computer and is able to do a workaround where he can stay connected to their computer. And after they're done with the call with him, he can listen to other people being scammed. And while they're being scammed, he calls the victim to let them know, turn off your computer now, you're being scammed. Like there are people out there, this guy's Batman for Scambaiting,
Exactly.
Out there saving lives, and people don't know about them.
And this is dangerous for some of them.
And it's dangerous. That's right. Don't scam bait. By the way, don't scam bait yourself. These people are protected. They're using virtual private networks. They know exactly what they're doing. So don't go out there and wasting scammers' time. If you're talking to somebody who's called you and is scamming you, they have your phone number, they have your address. Don't mess around with them, because the stories that go wrong. But these people are out there.
Just hang up the phone.
That's right. I don't want this to go too long, so I just want to show you real quick somebody else who's out there working diligently in order to help us out. There's this guy named Louis Rossman. Let me just bring him up here. Where is he? And he is fighting for you with something called right to repair. So I'm just going to play this here, and you're going to hear what right to repair is.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'd like to discuss right to repair so that someone who has never heard of this movement can understand it better. I want you to understand what it is we're looking to solve, how we're looking to solve those problems, and why those problems are important. Right to repair can be explained as simply as this. Have you ever had your car stop starting and gone to the dealership to hear that it would be $1,500 to $6,000 to fix what was wrong with your car? Have you ever then hightailed it out of the dealership to an independent mechanic and heard it would cost $170 to fix your car, paid them the $170, and then driven on your way with a perfectly working car? That's the essence of what right to repair is about. Right to repair is about having an option to go someplace but the dealer or manufacturer when something goes wrong with your product. Right to repair is something that has often been touted by progressive politicians. However, in my opinion, it's actually a conservative movement culturally. If you look at where the culture of our country was 50, 60, or 70 years ago.
So he's going to explain right to repair. But this is Louis Rossman, by the way, in case I didn't show that. So this is another thing that I didn't know people out there fighting for. You know, I get an Apple device. I get my Apple device. If I want to do something to this device, jailbreak it or whatever, change out the battery, replace a component, I lose my warranty, right? I lose my warranty for this device, even though it's mine, and I can try to fix it. I don't have to go to Apple and pay, the hundreds of dollars in order to buy. Like my computer broke a few years ago. The keyboard at Apple, they said it cost $800 in order to fix the thing. It costs $1,600 for the computer to repair just a keyboard. And now they're making their devices. Some companies are making their devices in such a way that you cannot repair them. Like you physically cannot. Like forget voiding your warranty. They're making it impossible. They're doing things like, oh, there's a part that's needed for your device that would be super cheap to fix. Well, they're going to the supplier of that part and they're telling them, don't sell this to the public. Only sell it to us, and then we'll sell it to the public, and they mark it up like 500%.
Like if you got the battery from the same people that Apple got their battery from, for example, and you put that battery in your phone, the phone would no longer work, even though it's the exact same component.
Or wouldn't be under warranty or anything like that. Or you might not even be
Rossman was talking about how messages show up on the device and be like, this can't work. Like the serial number's not working, some vague thing. And you're like, what's going on? Well, what's going on is the device is preventing itself from being repaired, even if you have not some third-party thing, literally the same components from the same manufacturer.
That's right. I bring this up today especially, Tom. I should talk to you because that's who I'm talking to. Tom, one of the reasons I bring this up is because of all the things that are happening in our world. There's so many fights going on. There's so much stuff in the news. These types of things slip through the cracks. There's so many other things going on. That's why I believe finding upstream problems is the only way we're going to solve things, because if you try to tackle problems just on their individual level, we're going to be tackling problems all day long. We have to go to the source. Now, one of the things I want us to do is to start valuing these people who are fighting for us, start valuing the people who are trying to find solutions, that are trying to find ways in order to help out. And so in order to do that, we have to expand our awareness. If you want to jumpstart your experience to have more to mine from, Tom, you know this, right? The more we learn about life, when I learn about Keboga or Scambating or Louis Rossman, it inspires me to what I could do with my own shows, to what I could do with my own videos, like in ways that I can approach what I'm doing. That creativity, in order to be creative, you need to be able to pool from different sources so that you can reorganize them. That's what creativity is. It's being aware of various sources and reorganizing reality in such a way that it produces something new. Well, if you don't know these pieces are out there, if you don't know about Bitcoin or tokenization, which we're going to be talking about later, if you don't understand about about the future we're heading towards, if you're not listening to people who are giving you information that are outside of your sphere of awareness, you're going to be stuck. Your growth is going to be stunted. You're not going to be able to expand as quickly or as effectively as you might want.
The sort of experience that people have in school, in grade school and high school, is probably very similar to our own, where in large part you're guided towards seeking jobs that already exist. So they give you a catalog of these are all the jobs that exist right now. Choose one, and we'll tell you the path in order to get there. And I thought that's what it was. That doing anything that's off the beaten track, there's no point, because you just end up fighting upstream. You're going to end up broken poor. The two quotes stay in my mind now as I'm really starting to understand how that sort of advice is actually completely counterintuitive. Alan Watts talks about this idea that when he works as basically as a guidance counselor for a career counselor for students, they'll say, "Oh, I want to do so and so job, or I want to do so and so task, but there's no work there, there's no money there, and I won't be able to get paid. So I got to choose. I have to choose one of the jobs from a catalog, sort of thing." And he says, if you persist and do what you love long enough, someone will eventually pay you to do that thing. And because as you cannot continue to do something that you love without gaining a mastery of it, and people pay for mastery. And he goes, and if that's not the case, then your life ends, and you might as well, then you're a moth to the flame, and you might as well just end it. He goes, there's no need to fight against that, because to live and or to work to do a job that you don't want to do for the rest of your life, just so you can continue to live and do a job that you don't want to do for the rest of your life, that's insane. So you might as well do the thing that you love to do as best as you can. And then the second part is Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson talks about this idea that there are U-shaped problems in the world. There are problems that exist in the world that you are particularly well suited to solve. And you know that you're particularly well suited to solve them, or you're prone to be able to solve them, because you can see those problems. There are problems that other people are tackling that I'm not interested in, that I don't even see as problems, and I should not even try to jump into that field. So what happens is that when you and this is where my adventure framework really comes into play for me, that merges value, transparency, and reputation. Value is this idea of solving a problem. You're actually solving a problem. And when you see a problem and you try to solve it as best as you can with your own spin to it, you end up in situations like the Kid Book that we saw, where there is no other scam baiter like him. There are tons of other scam baiters, but there's no scam baiter like him. And people who are interested in that type of entertainment, or like that sort of activism, and like his brand, follow him. And he has thousands and thousands of followers, and he's making
He has over a million now. Yeah. I think 1.2 million is the last I checked.
And he's making a living doing this. Now, if he was in school and he said, I want to grow up and be a scam baiter, right? There would have been no path towards it, no understanding. People said, what's the point in doing this? In the same way that when I used to build websites when I was 14 years old, and I'd be there with a sheet of paper, writing HTML code on a sheet of paper, and coming home at night and typing it in my computer, and to make what I call a dance in Santa, just to make a character dance on screen. And my mom would be like, "Oh, you're playing on the computer," until it came to the point where, oh no, building a website is like a severely required skill. But if you just do what you love, I mean, I'm saying that, but what I'm really saying is that you're solving a problem that you are compelled to solve, and because you're doing it, you feel so satisfied, and so then you love it. You have this mix, this perfect mix of an opportunity that's there, that's perfectly well suited to you. And so I would just do some pushback on what you were just saying before, that basically what I want to say is that I'm encouraged when I see a problem build up and build up and build up, and it hasn't been solved yet, because I know eventually it must be solved. Eventually someone, or some peoples, or some industry will come up that says this thing needs to be fixed, Louis Rossman is one of these people. That guy I've watched for years. I've watched that guy videos for the last 10 years. As I'm sitting there, I'm trying to figure out how to change the letter on my keyboard. That's the guy I'm watching. And now he's there after going from nothing to building up a company in New York, a successful repair shop. And now he's out there and he has the knowledge and the funds in order to tackle this larger problem. I'm encouraged when I see that. I'm encouraged when I see this whole industry of scam baiters that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know the scam baiters existed. I didn't even know the scams existed. There are two multi-zeros, comma company industries out there that people could get into now that I had no idea existed. And the same way that esports exist, in the same way that crypto tokens exist, in the same way that all these problems create opportunities for people to be entrepreneurial and actually solve them. So I'm hugely encouraged when I see stuff like this.
I am definitely encouraged, but I am not so naive to. I'm not naive. I'm aware enough about history to know that not all problems get solved. Sometimes the solution to the problem is devastation. It's death, right? If the empire gets too large, then they get wiped out.
That's the
They could
solution,
kill
though.
themselves. Yeah,
That
yeah,
is the solution.
well, it is a solution, just like the solution to you having a broken finger is to sever your arm. Like,
That's right. If thy hand
sure,
offends thee, cut it off. The Bible
cut
says
it-
that. Yeah,
that's right,
absolutely.
exactly. Said by all the two-handed people out there, but you know, I want to start. I want to create this. I want to be a part of this, infecting the world with this idea that it's our responsibility to fix things, and things will only get fixed if we care to support the people who are fixing it. Because I know, like you and I, we were talking about homeless people. Okay, I want the homeless problem solved, but I don't have enough time in my life or interest in my life to deal with it on a case by case basis, on a case by case level. Kit Boga can deal with these scams on a case by case. I'm not going to do that, but I can support him, right? I could support the people who support the homeless people. I could support the people who are out there fighting. And the further upstream I can go, the more my contribution will have an effect on what's going on. So I'm not so optimistic to believe that all our problems will inevitably be solved. The Kidbogas and the Louis Rossmans of the world will inevitably come up. They will. But you know, even Elon Musk has got to fight tooth and nail in order to help us. Okay, that's a society we live in. We live in a society where Elon Musk has got to fight tooth and nail and beg to help you. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
game. That's the game for right now. The rules of the
No,
game.
but
That's what it is.
it doesn't have to be the. It doesn't have to be
No,
the
of
rules
course
of the
not.
game.
Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be the rules of the game.
But then the
part of-
problem that you want to solve is the problem to solve is I want to live in a world where it's not an uphill battle to do that. And that's our game. That's stuff you and I enjoy. And that's what I find so fascinating about technology and crypto. Like the platform that Kid Boga is on, Twitch, was created for video gamers. Video gamers needed a way of showcasing these games and blah blah blah. Twitch got created, and this platform is then co-opted to for what they call IRL role play, so real life role play. And then in there, this guy says, "I'm going to use this technology to do this." Like something completely separate and completely industry ends up being something that helps a little old lady in Nebraska. To me, it's like, okay, all right. So the goal is direct, like what you talk about all the time, direct attention to where it needs to be. As long as Kid Boga gets enough attention, he's going to be able to continue doing that, and he'll inspire other people to do the same. And as long as Elon Musk gets attention, you're doing that. And so directing your attention, or rather, it's so satisfying to know that my attention does matter. Like it's not like, oh, your attention matters. It's like literally it runs on attention. All the things run on attention. And so now we have a communication platform that a telecommunication platform that as far as we know, never existed before in human history. That to me correlates with if there was ever going to be a time where we solve the problem of getting attention to where it needs to be, well, it's our generation that needs to start doing that. Like, what are we complaining about?
Do you think tokenization is going to help direct our attention to where it needs to be?
Yeah. So, for example, there's this platform called in the crypto space. I've been looking for more information on tokenization. And basically, what that is that you take an asset that exists. It could be a house, a person, anything, and you basically create a unique digital representation of it. So, in the same way that your deed for your land represents that land, and this paper represents it, imagine that deed now is electronic, but it's not just electronic and can be copied everywhere. That electronic version is unique and only exists in one space. So you have a USB key with your deed on it, and that's just as good as if you had the paper. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like I was watching a Panic Room. Well, I'm about to watch it again. I've watched it 100 times already. But in the Panic Room, rich people's house, in their Panic Room, there's a safe, and in the safe, they're like, "Oh, there are millions of dollars in the safe." Well, it wasn't millions of dollars; it was bearer bonds. And what are bearer bonds? It means if you hold this piece of paper, then you get $1 million. Like, and it doesn't matter if you stole this piece of paper. It doesn't matter. This physical piece of paper is so unique that you can put $1 million on this thing. So tokenization kind of gives a digital version of this.
Exactly. Just like the $20 bill that you'll have in your pocket has a serial number on it, which makes it unique. And if there's two of them, well, all of a sudden one gets voided out. And so what happens with tokenization is that tokenization is this process of converting physical goods into a unique digital thing. So what does that mean? It means you might be able to own a piece. You might be able to own someone's real estate as a token. You don't need to actually have their house. You could have, let's say someone's renting out a home for Airbnb and you own 1/20th of that. You can get 1/20th of the revenue stream from that Airbnb because you have that digital asset.
I heard that football teams are going to be tokenized, and I can own a piece of that football team. That
Exactly.
The house in the Cayman Islands, they're going to be tokenized, and then I'm going to own a piece of that. I can own a piece of the Mona Lisa. Like,
Exactly. Literally the value of it. So that means if you sell it, you get that part back. Just like if someone sold the Mona Lisa, they would get the money or the revenue stream. So if they rent out the Mona Lisa, you can get a part of the money automatically because it happens digitally. They don't even have to have this whole bureaucracy. You automatically get it as soon as anyways.
people need to know about tokenization. It's absolutely insane. Like, if you don't understand the future if you don't understand this aspect of crypto, this aspect of the blockchain, you are totally unprepared for what's coming next. Tokenization, as far as I understand it, as far as you've explained it to me, as far as I've seen online, is the game changer we've all needed.
It's like when shares started, like the stock market started. Shares started with just companies issuing bonds for the company, and you had a share in their debts. So they would ask for $1,000. You would give them $1,000. They would get that from 100,000 people. They would have this money, spend the money, develop their business, be productive, get money, and then they would pay back your bond with interest. And a share, instead of doing the bond thing, you got a share of the company, which meant that all the earnings all the revenues for the companies, you would get a part of the earnings that they generated. So when the stock market started, it was like, I mean, I'm saying started. It started over hundreds of years, but let's say when it really came onto the scene, and it was accessible to people, it became an amazing source of revenue for companies. Like, there's a reason why companies go from private to public. They get access immediately to a whole set of funds as they issue their shares, and the possibility of issuing new shares, and it's just a fantastic source of revenue. So now imagine that share process, but instead of for companies, for anything that has value. Like you. So let's say you tokenized yourself. You can be like, okay, of all the money that I'm going to make in a given year, 50% of that will go towards let's say 10% of that I'm going to be given out as dividends. I'm going to issue shares of myself, tokens of myself, and 10% of the money that I get will be split amongst all the shares that are out there. So you might own a part of Tom, which seems like nothing if the shares is trading at $1 and I'm not making it a lot. But if I get famous, or you get the football player, or you get the politician, or whatever it is, all of a sudden you might get you have a share that you bought $1. For $1, that's worth Jeff Bezos amount of money, right? You have a share of Jeff Bezos. Can you imagine if people had a share of Jeff Bezos, how happy they would be? And it encourages people to then consider themselves as a brand. Like, everything that you're doing, the knowledge that you have, you're seeing yourself of, I'm not only working for myself, I'm working for all the people who believed in me, that they own a share of who I am. And so I've been been enamored by that idea. That's really the thing in crypto that really got me started. That's what really captured my imagination. But I've been looking for these systems. I know the tokenization process is extremely difficult. And so someone's going to solve this problem of being able to tokenize things without programming code, without bureaucracy, without all the legal framework. Someone's going to take care of all that. And I've just been waiting for that to occur. Well, Rally.io, if you'll pull up the website, Peter, while I give this pitch, Rally is a platform that is trying to do exactly this. What they're trying to do is sort of like what Patreon did for YouTubers, right? YouTubers were getting less and less money from Google AdWords. It used to be you could make a living on that, and then they couldn't anymore. You needed millions of followers and the algorithm to love you in order for you to make it. So people were seeing the revenue cut in half, even more than that. And so one of the YouTubers, Jack Conte, created Patreon that allowed people to have the subscription service that you can subscribe to people's videos, and for all the videos that they put out, you're paying a monthly fee in order that goes directly to them. It's just to incentivize content creation and better content. But this still has this middleman of the platform. If I wanted to give money to a podcaster that I liked, I still needed to give $10, pay $10. It goes off into the ether. They get whatever they get, and it ends there. Whereas, or if I wanted to buy their T-shirt, right? I bought their T-shirt and I support their merchandise. They got a little bit of that, and that was it. But Rally, what they're doing is that they're creating a process where you can get a cryptocurrency created for your brand. So this is not Bitcoin. This is not Ethereum. This is a cryptocurrency that's, let's say, that's your own, a Peter token. And what happens is that you get to decide as a creator what
or
are the
happy
perks
token.
or a happy token. You get to decide what the perks are. So you might say, if you have 50 of these tokens, then you get access to early content. If you have 100 of these tokens, not only get the access to early content, you get to buy music or my content at a discount or whatever it is. The tokens themselves, owning it, can be like the perk system in Patreon. But then more than that, you can say, if you're going to buy this T-shirt, you can buy it for $10 straight or 8 of my tokens, right? You can say, and then these tokens, because it's a cryptocurrency, what happens and they're limited supply, what happens is that they go up in value the more people participate in that. So the more fans this person gets who participate in this currency, your token might go up from $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. So you have this incentive to hold these tokens as an indicator of your participation in the network, and you have this incentive to get other people in because it makes it more valuable. And let's say you're done one day and you're finished with this, you outgrew this this creator. Well, then you can sell these tokens, and now you're selling it might be 10 times higher, and you're getting back some value that you had put into the network while the person still had you're not taking the money from them, right, from the creator. They still have the benefit of the increased value of the network. And there's all kinds of things that happen, like so one of the things I did is that I went on Rally.io, and as a speculator, you could just buy tokens from people. You don't even have to like their content. So I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I get to own a part of a person? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. And I want to see what that was like. And so for about a month now, I've owned a basket of a basket of currencies, a basket of people, from Twitch streamers to
Okay, Tom, you can't dress like a slave owner and then speak in these slave owner terms.
That's the best compliment you've ever given me, Peter. It means I've moved up in the world.
Oh my God! Okay, go ahead.
So there's people who create art, people who are entertaining on Twitter or whatever it is, and cosplayers, all kinds of stuff like that. And I've been holding their stuff just to see, because you can't really understand something until you can't really understand someone until you fight them. You can't you can't really appreciate a token until you own it. And so I was very surprised to see that within a month or a month, the value of my portfolio went up by 20%. While Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the other tokens were going down. That means these tokens are uncorrelated with the broader crypto market. They're really their own ecosystems that ebb and flow based on the followers and the content that the person's creating. So if one of the people that I bought decided they're no longer doing their thing anymore, well, their token would drop in value. It makes sense. And as they get more popular, it would go up in value. And that's what you're buying, just like a share. And Peter, I cannot tell you how fascinating and how I'm like, how on earth there are people who started this thing just to test it out who now make their full-time money from the rally system, and the rally system it's not even fully done yet. It's like they're on version 0.5 or whatever. They're not even fully done yet. It's still a little bit of a hassle to get started, but you don't have to do any code or anything like that. It's unbelievable. You could see exactly where this could be. In fact, I could see it's such a no-brainer technology that I could see Bitcoin going to $0 and still these tokens are worth something. That's
just like
ecosystem.
your Subway's points card will be worth whatever it's worth, even if the economy goes down. Like these are the points I can.
This to me is the first time I've seen something that's a proven. Even NFTs are not exactly the same way. They're sort of the same way, that they're not necessarily correlated with the broader market, but they are correlated in hype. Like the Bitcoin goes up in value, so people go, oh, let me go get into an NFT. But when I'm buying a Jane token from Rally, I don't care what the price of Bitcoin is there. I'm just trying to I'm trying to get I really like their like if Kid Boga issued a token, I would buy, a Kid Boga token, and then he would get access to the money. He can grow. He can have an ecosystem. It's just
maybe I should tell Louis Rossman about it.
Tell Kid Boga about it. Let's get some Bogan tokens.
Well, Kid Boga doesn't have an uphill battle. That guy, it's all greased. Like there's no resistance to him.
That's right.
He's just climbing. Louis Rossman's got to fight institutions, so
that's true.
He's going to need a lot more money behind him. Kid Boga is he's already making his living doing it. He's all set. Louis Rossman has a business and this other thing. I think it'd be actually right up his alley, since he's in that tech world, that tech space. He's repairing tech things, that conversation. He might want to consider tokenization just to, I have this idea behind my principle, Making Millionaires, about empowering champions with money, folks, okay, to insulate them from the slings and arrows that might come their way. Like, we got to be able to, if Louis Rossman was a multimillionaire, and our champion for right to repair, then what could they take away from him? Oh, take away your business. Well, these people are going to give me $1 million every year as long as I do this thing. So what the hell? You want to take away my business? You're going to make me more famous, more powerful, more capable, because you might make me a martyr. Plus, I'm still a millionaire. I'm still coming after you guys asses.
And you might want to consider, like, for this Black Money Matters idea, like, get some Black creators on Rally. Like, instead of, remember, trying to figure out how to get the money to them and how to process the whole thing. Well, if you get them on Rally, and then we go, okay, everybody, let's go to Rally and buy their tokens, right? We can make them millionaires like that without the middleman, and go straight to them.
And then we could get some dividends.
That's right. We own their token. It's not them just becoming a millionaire. We can join the ride with them.
All right. I like that you said own their tokens, because we're really walking the line between owning people.
Dude, I'm just waiting for a Django token so I can buy that, okay? I'm looking for a Django NFT token.
This has been a lot of fun. We hit the 1 hour mark here. Look at us. We were like, oh, let's just go on for like 20 minutes. Yeah, let's go on for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We don't got much to say. This is how it is. Like, if I call Tom and he has time to talk, this is it. This is how the conversations go. That, and then a lot of slurs, a lot of terrible jokes. You get canceled like crazy. Facebook, never release our messages because we'll totally get canceled.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you want to get a little bit of that, you can join a Telegram group, and you can participate in audio and chat conversations. We'll be a little riskier there, I'm sure. If you want to become a patron, go over to patreon.com/happyforchange. We haven't tokenized yet, so you got to go over to patreon.com/happyforchange, and you can become a patron, and then you'll get a link to our Telegram group. It's $10 a month, I believe. I think actually we should put that to $5. If I'm not mistaken, I think there should be a $5 one for if you just care about the Telegram audio and not the live show.
And don't worry, if we tokenize, anyone who's on our Patreon account are going to get tokens. That's one of the things that you get at the beginning. You get, as a creator, they give you a bunch of tokens. They're like, okay, create your system.
So Happy for Change will be tokenizing. We'll be tokenizing.
We'll see.
As long as we can.
Exactly. We've applied,
We
and
got
we'll
to
see how it goes.
experiment with these things and see how it works out. We want to jumpstart you, but we also want to experience some of these things so that we can do some of the heavy lifting for you and know if it's something really great. People have already started tokenization. It's already working out, just like Tom says. So the future is now, folks, and tomorrow, but now. All right, Scambait. Support our champions, expand your awareness. Your homework for today is to expand your sphere of awareness. All right. Not just what you know, but how you know something. So you need to tap into streams of information that will give you something that is outside of what you're accustomed to. So, two ways that I'm going to suggest you do it: either to follow someone who you wouldn't typically follow, who gives out information that you wouldn't typically get to in a completely different domain. You could check out Kit Boga, you could check out Louis Rossman, you could check out Rally to expand your sphere of awareness so that you get the stream coming into you. Or read a book that's totally outside of your field, like anything. If you heard something, we've talked about the fourth turning. If there's something that comes up, go down that rabbit hole. It might be something totally divorced from your common day life, but that's exactly what you need to exercise yourself doing in order to stay youthful, in order to stay on point, to stay on top of things. That's what you got to do. Why are the kids so plugged in and up on the current things, and the older people aren't? It's because older people are set in their routines and their ways, the sphere of influence, their conversations that they're having, that's kind of stuck there, whereas children are still exploring. So you have to go out there to explore. If you explore, you'll get more powerful, right? Simple. And we know this. We get afraid to do it. But I'm challenging you today with today's homework for Jumpstart is to go out there and expand your sphere of awareness. Follow someone that you don't typically follow and a topic that you don't typically look at, or read a book outside of your field. I would say go to a seminar that I used to tell people for serendipity. Go to a seminar that is totally unrelated to your world and see how you can apply your knowledge to what they're doing. But
now people are poisoned, so we can't.
That's right. That's right. Everybody's got the virus. You got to assume it. You got to assume that everybody's got the virus.
That's right. Or that you're going to give the virus to somebody else. So that's why I didn't roll down my window for, you know what? That's why I didn't roll down my window.
Exactly. No, I typically give money to homeless people, but I'm afraid that I'm giving them the virus. I'm being considerate. These are the type of conversations you'll hear on Telegram that we should not be saying on YouTube and on Facebook. But what I will be saying is thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun, Tom, to talk to you about these topics. I'm glad we decided to do this. Samantha says, dude, just subscribe to Kid Boga. I think she liked it. I haven't shown it to her. Like we've been waiting. I've been waiting to show her. I think today is the first time she got to see it. So that's a lot of fun. And right, it's 7:21. We got to get ready for curfew here, folks. I got another 39 minutes I can be outside. So I'm going to go out for a walk in the cold sunshine and just enjoy our freedom before it comes to an end. Because that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what happens to freedom. That's what happens to freedom. It comes to an end. All right, folks. It's been nice. I'm Tom Hartman.
I'm Peter Hartman.
And we'll see you in
No.
We'll
and you're watching Jumpstart. No, and you're watching Jumpstart. All right.